Hey everybody, how's it going? Let me know that someone is here. I'm a few minutes late. I just moved into a new place. We can get into that another day a little bit more. But once I know some people are in here, I'm going to get started. Hey, hello everybody. Welcome to my Tuesdays at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time every Tuesday, except for last Tuesday because I was moving right at 10 a.m. The movers came at the exact same time that I normally go live, so I apologize for not being here for you guys yesterday or last week. But my name is Dr. Cindy Stark. It is my pleasure and honor and privilege to come in here for you guys every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to talk to y'all about things that I have spent literally decades learning about. I learned a long time ago that I was not pleased with how my life was going, and I kept personally repeating, hey Sheila, yay, okay, awesome. I kept repeating the same mistakes over and over again. Specifically for me, I think I struggled more, hey Shalini, with relationship problems. And I know some of you others here with me and that follow me are struggling with health issues that you just can't seem to break free of, whether it's overeating or lying that you might be addicted to. So it's hurting your friendship relationships, or just terrible relationships that you might have with your mother, your father, your sister, or job problems, or just negative self-talk. So what I noticed a long time ago that I was suffering with and repeating patterns of behavior that were not serving me in any way, shape, or form were problems with, good morning Pat, thank y'all so much for being here, with relationships. And a lot of it, I do believe now that I'm 51 and I've gone to, probably 20 secular and religious counselors and done 10 Bible studies and spent tens and tens of thousands of dollars on trying to figure out, why does my brain tick the way that it ticks? And how come my sister that was raised exactly like me, how come she doesn't suffer from the same problems as me? And really, hey Michelle, sweet Michelle, I really that really goes deep into what we're going to be talking about today, which is people pleasing. And I'm going to explain to you how, my sister and I specifically were raised in the exact same household, and there were things that happened to me in ways that I interpreted the data that I was, kind of steeped in my environment, that led me to have a lot of problems and things that I couldn't pay millions of dollars to undo. And a lot of that has to do with people pleasing. So again, I'm Dr. Cindy Stark. I practice here in Gainesville, Georgia as a hospitalist, which is not everybody doesn't know exactly what a hospitalist is. So I'm going to tell y'all a little bit about what I do on my Monday through Friday 9 to 5 kind of gig. I am a physician at Longstreet Clinic, but even though I'm employed by Longstreet Clinic, I only see patients in the hospital. And I take care of people that are hospitalized for various reasons. Currently, I am a very special consultant just for the specialty surgeons at Longstreet Clinic. So I take care of all the people that have brain surgery and vascular surgery, leg amputations, all kind of hip replacements. Any kind of surgeon that's at Longstreet Clinic, I take care of their patients after their surgery's over, and I take care of their medical problems while they're hospitalized so that we can get them discharged safely back home. But so I always say I'm Dr. Stark by day, but I'm the real Dr. Cindy by night. And for the past 2.5 years, I have been creating an online container where I help mentor men and women in the second halves of their lives to figure out why they're not living the life that they want to live. And it comes down to, after all of my research and all of my counseling and all of my books that I've read, and I've listened to hundreds of hours of podcasts, it just comes down to mastering the matter in between your ears, and it's specifically your subconscious mind. So I used to be all about teaching mindset and just like willing yourself and efforting into whatever it is that you want, and I was just a master at it. I completed a Ironman triathlon at age 41, I think I was. Can't even remember how old I was. Hey Sherry, but at age 41, I said I wanted to see what my mind and my body was capable of. So without knowing at all how to swim or bike long distances, at 41, I did a 17-hour endurance event. And it was called an Ironman triathlon. It's down in Florida. I don't know if any of you guys even know what those are. But I just wanted to prove to myself that I could do it. And so I did. So that's what I used to teach, is how to really harness the immense power in the 4% of your conscious mind. And then as time went on and I realized I was still repeating these patterns in my relationships, I learned finally how to harness the power of my subconscious mind. And that's what I'm passionate about bringing to everyone. I have clients all over the country right now. I envision it's going to be all over the world soon. And I just help usher men and women into the best versions of themselves. And the only way to do it is not by efforting yourself with this 4% up here. It's by gaining access to the 96%. That's really calling the shot, so that you really don't have to think about it so much every day. It doesn't have to be a conscious decision or anything that you think about. Life just happens, so effortlessly and in your best interest when you resource everything that's going on within. And specifically, my program helps people that are having a hard time harnessing the power in their subconscious mind because of trauma that they dealt with as children. And it doesn't have to be like trauma like you were kidnapped or raped or held in a cage. It can be any kind of trauma. Self-limiting statements that were made to you by your parents that you were never going to amount to anything. Or just I have one of my co-coaches. She's 63 and she just never felt like she really fit in, and so she taught herself to dumb herself down so that she would fit in. And I'm going to get all into that today. So I see everybody that knows me and is in my tribe already is hitting #live. And if y'all could, anybody catching this on the replay, write #replay and tell me where you're from. I'll answer any questions that you have. So just drop a question in there too. All right. So, all right, I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about trauma and really what it does. It kind of tells us the trauma that we've experienced in our life. The damage that's done by the trauma is not so much what the trauma did to us in that moment. It's kind of like what it taught us to believe, to think about ourselves. And it's like who you decided that you were. And then you put these self-limited constraints on yourself and you live your whole blessed life in a cage. And you made the cage yourself, but you don't even know how to get the cage off of you. And you don't even know that there is a key. You don't even know that the cage is there. You don't know that there is a key. You don't know there is a door. And what unleashing the power and unlocking the power in your subconscious mind does is it shows you there is a door there, and it shows you where the key is, so you can open it just like that anytime. So I want a big part of what I'm passionate about is I want you guys to learn how our brain controls our body. And so many times we are absolutely driven by things that are going on in our subconscious mind, and we have no idea how to stop it. And the only reason that you're struggling is because your subconscious is not in alignment with what your conscious goals are. Your life should be made of ease and flow, guys. If your life is feeling like it's a struggle right now, and you know that you want to think a certain way or be a certain way or have certain things in your life and you can't get them, just drop that below. Are you guys having a problem with that right now? Or is your life in ease and flow? Hey, Rachel, good to see you. Rachel and I used to go work out at 5 o'clock in the morning outside at Riverside Military Academy in the dark, freezing cold hours. And Shalini too. We used to teach group fitness classes together here. Anyway, crazy. That was a lifetime ago, wasn't it? Anyway, these subconscious patterns can show up in your parenting. It can show up in the way that you accept yourself or don't accept yourself. And what I just want y'all to tell me below too, what kind of ways, hey Deanne, what kind of ways is people pleasing holding you back in your life? What are you guys doing for people pleasing? I'll tell you what what I just realized I've been doing. I realized that in my marriage, I was behaving in a way to be accepted by my husband. I decided for him who he wanted me to be, and I put on a mask, and if he loved me, all he loved was that mask. All the world knew was a mask, and I'm finally breaking free from that and realizing who I am really on the inside. And what it is there's this tribal mentality. It's been innate and hardwired into our DNA for hundreds, if not thousands of years. And that tribal mentality, it kind of gets into our subconscious mind. It is wired into the very fibers of our DNA. And I'm a geneticist also. I have a PhD in genetics, as genetics have always fascinated me. I had no idea that age 51 that was going to come full circle. And I can go into the the pathophysiology and the genetic reasons as to how rewiring your subconscious mind literally changes your life, but that's not a subject for today. I'm actually talking in a couple of weeks, I think 3 weeks, 2 weeks from this Friday, to a group of medical staff services for the state of Georgia, and I'm going to see if I can't live stream that talk into this group, because I am going to be getting into how it is that you can literally change the expression of your genes and your DNA to get the life that you want, just by very simple methods that we all have harnessed in our bodies right now. But anyway, our tribal survival skills are for 2 or 3 things. Number 1 is to avoid rejection, because we need the tribe to stay alive. And number 2, it's to avoid pain. And number 3 is to run toward pleasure. That's all our subconscious mind does. It wants to avoid pain and seek pleasure. And you think that you can get where you want to in life. Like, again, with your 4% here, that's your subconscious mind. I mean, your conscious mind, your will. But that takes a lot of effort. And anytime you get sick, you're going to revert right back to your pre-programmed programming in your subconscious mind. You get tired or overworked, again, you're just going to be reverting right back to mastermind, the part that runs the show. Okay, so if you, again, want to learn how to rewire your subconscious mind so you don't have to overwork this little guy anymore, which can lead to adrenal fatigue, cortisol overflow, type 2 diabetes, metabolic syndrome X. If any of y'all have that, chances are you are working yourself to death with the 4%, and you're not in ease and flow. You're efforting to death, and your body is always in a state of fight or flight and a catecholamine rush and flood. Whereas if you can just come back here into the ease and flow, which is how God wanted us to be, that's the parasympathetic system, and everything can just be more calm, and dopamine and serotonin can rule the show, not norepinephrine and epinephrine and adrenaline and cortisol. Because let me tell you one thing, if your adrenals are fatigued and you're in adrenal crisis, if you don't know how to stop all this from, squirrel brain, monkey brain, then there's almost no doctor that's going to be able to tell you how to kind of get into ease and flow. So, and again, no doctor talks about this, because this is something that not even psychologists talk about. Therapists, when you go to traditional therapy, they do a really great job of kind of increasing your awareness as to what your problems are and what's gotten you so screwed up, but they don't ever really tell you how to fix it so that it never happens again. Psychiatrists just give you medicines to help, numb you down and kind of dumb you up so that you can just kind of survive in life. But anyway, again, trauma, any kind of trauma that we have, it just worsens this by 100-fold. And it's something that happens at that time where we decide something about ourselves, and that's not true. And the reason I do my work, and I have a whole team of coaches that are working tirelessly behind the scenes, we do this work, is to show you that you have choices. Because I don't know about you guys, but for the first 30 years of my life, I guess, I was just on autopilot. Just get education. Do what mom and dad says. Do what University of Georgia says. Do what Emory Medical School says. Now Emory Graduate School. Now residency. Now walk down the aisle and get yourself a husband. Now hurry up and have those babies. And then 16 years, I woke up and I'm like, my kids are 16 years old. I have been on autopilot this whole time. I don't even think I've ever once known how many choices I had. And so now, with the tools that I've found and what I bring to my clients, a whole generation of us right now, the enlightened ones, the soul circle is what I call us, we're realizing that we have choices, and you can have choices too. But if you're kind of just been doing what society tells you, you don't even know that you have choices. You're just like putting one foot in front of the other, and then your whole life can go by before you even think twice. And a few weeks ago, maybe even last week, I talked about perfectionism, and that's the kind of the same thing, is that we're just seeking someone to accept us so that we can be loved and protected. And we don't realize that who we really need to love and protect, and that trust, is ourself. No one ever taught us to really have any self-trust and know what's going on down below, and be able to satisfy your own needs. You think that everyone around you are the ones that you need to have this approval from. And, I think about it sometimes. I'm not trying to sound terrible with what I'm about to say, but my mom and dad got divorced after 43 years of marriage, okay? So they were married when I had my first baby girl, and then they got divorced by the time I had my son. And so all of a sudden, there were boyfriends and girlfriends in my kids' lives that were my kids were, I guess 5 and 7 by the time mom and dad started dating again. And here are these 65-year-old grandma and grandpa, and they're bringing these girlfriends and boyfriends around, and my kids didn't want to hug them because they didn't know who they were. And I think about it. I mean, I never made my kids hug these significant others of my parents because they did not feel comfortable with them. They only wanted to hug Paul, and Gigi. They didn't want to hug these strangers, Ronnie and Betsy and not that it matters what their names are, okay? But there were just this slew of boyfriends and girlfriends, and I think about other little kids and how their mom and dad just make them go and hug people because their mom and dad are the ones telling them it's safe to go hug those people. Well, sure, it's safe to. Those ladies and those men that are strangers aren't going to harm those little children, but the kids know they don't want to hug them. They are strangers. They don't feel comfortable around them. They don't even know their names. They don't know anything about them. And then we grown-ups tell them, oh, go hug them, it's okay. And it just starts the pattern, doesn't it? Where you're just like turning to someone else to tell you what's safe in life. And, it's like this pack mentality. And once we get this pack mentality going and we are telling our kids what to do and why to do it and, oh, trust me. And I get that some of that's necessary. Please don't get me wrong. But it doesn't ever teach the kid to just rely on their internal compass on what is safe. And so by the time we wake up and our kids are grown and gone, that's when it happened to me. I just have this epiphany, this wake up call that I don't even know what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. But someone told me it was safe, and so I just did it, and I did it, and I did it. And so, if you are always apologizing for who you are and say, oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry I did that, I'm sorry I opened the door. I just want you to know you don't have to apologize for being you. You do not have to apologize for your very existence. You are here to affect a change in your world and in your environment. And our whole program of the Soul Circle, we teach you to love and accept yourself. Using every single resource you ever had, using the unique set of crap that you got put through in this world and in this earth. And it's my personal opinion that if you don't use all that pain that you went through to help somebody else, you're just wasting all that pain. You're just staying in your cage, just trying to seek approval and affection from everybody else, never thinking about what you wanted for yourself, and then you're not affecting a change on anybody else's life. When you reconcile what's happened in your life, when you learn to start resourcing the parts of you that got hurt when you were 4 and when you were 14 and when you were 22 and all this, then you're whole again for the first time ever, and you're not running your life by the 4%. You're running your life by the whole entire 100% in your brain, and you can live in congruence, and it is such a wonderful thing. And one of the things that my trauma clients have, and I have too, in common is that we are codependent. Has anyone been to a Codependence Anonymous meeting? CODA? We are enmeshed with people. We have boundary problems. And the bottom line is that we are inauthentic. And every time somebody says, how are you doing? And you say, oh, I'm doing great. And that's a lie. You're teaching yourself not to trust yourself. And the one thing that we need, that we more desperately need than anything else, is to be seen and heard. And we're unable to really be seen and heard for who we are because we're lying about who we are and what we need. And again, I'm going to go through this on a really, really brief time because I am really talking too much and I am not getting to all my notes that I have prepared. But actually, I'm not going to go through it. Go back to my talks number 1 and 2. I think this is at least number 10 that I've given. So go back to talks 1 and 2, and I talk about how our subconscious mind deletes and generalizes and distorts everything that we see around us that comes into our eyes that should be, we should be seeing everything 100% as it is coming through our eyes, but our subconscious mind has built into it this little thing called reticular activating system. And it is uniquely made with your trauma and your oh, I'm so sorry, guys. I wasn't scrolling up, and I see that Sheila said, "I'm not looking out for myself first, so I can be myself and stop." And I'm just trying to be a perfectionist. And Hannah, yeah, you're happy to be enlightened. Hannah is a graduate of my program, and a whole world has opened up to her. She's not anxious anymore. She's speaking it for herself and her ex-husband and to her ex-husband, and being a mom she never could be before. But anyway, the reticular activating system is a special filter based on your unique trauma. And what it does is it deletes and generalizes and distorts all this stuff that's happening around us to match specifically and perfectly to be a belief system that you made about yourself. And mine was that I was not worthy of love and protection. And and again, if you don't clear your reticular activating set of environmental programming, religious programming, educational programming, parental programming, social programming, and just a bunch of emotions that are not serving you. And your conscious mind never even gets kind of a vote. It's just all back here. And so a lot of things could be happening in your life that says you're worthy, or that says that you're worthy of respect, or that you're worthy of love. But the only thing that you're going to see in a sea of men or a sea of job opportunities or whatever is the things that show you, yep, you're unworthy, Cindy. Yeah, you're not worthy of respect. You're not worthy of extra money. You're a woman. You cannot make what a man makes. I mean, and that's not true. But if you don't harness the power that's back here and clear out that gunked up filter, then all you know how to do is to reproduce over and over and over again that exact bullcrap that you were fed to by your own unique set of wounds and traumas, okay? I hope that makes sense. Again, go back to talks 1 and 2 for people that are new here. Oh, Shalini is saying my video got interrupted. I hope that it is back on. I just moved, Shalini, and I had to get, new internet. So I'm really hoping that this internet is working back here in my home office. And so somebody let me know that I'm back going. But again, I just wanted to let y'all know that that's why two people can have the exact same experience and conversation and come back with completely different takeaways, because our unique, that's right, Hannah, she feels like she wasn't capable of things and she didn't deserve it. But the reason that two people can have different experiences of the exact same experience is because our two unique reticular activating systems are never going to be the same. So you are robbing yourself of dignity and respect. Okay, good. Dignity and respect if you don't get this straightened out and you don't realize how to rewire your subconscious mind, because whatever it is that you want in life, you can have it in life. You don't have to go by what's happened to you in your past. You don't have to go by what your mom and dad said was possible for you, what your sister did, or your brother, or your boss, or coworkers, or anything. And the last thing we need to do is to look for money and other people for safety and security, because what does it really matter if we have all the money and all the people around us that we think are going to make us happy? You can have all the money and status and rewards that you want, and not rewards, I'm saying awards. Like, people are always chasing after the wrong thing. I see it all the time, and I know that people have written songs about it all the time too, and it just gets me in my gut, is that they think, well, the American way is to want this car and to want this nice house and to want these awards and these accolades. And people can have all of that, and they're still so miserable inside because they don't even know how to resource themselves on the inside. They don't even know what they really want in life, and all they've been doing is people pleasing. But let me keep going for that status. I don't know about you guys, but as a doctor, they would offer us compensation for night call, so you could take call from 9 in the evening till 7 in the morning. And I gladly gave up that money to a nurse practitioner to do that for me all those years. I mean, I'm still a hospitalist, but it's been 13 years and counting, because I knew I'd be a crappy mom the next day and a crappy doctor, because I really need my sleep. And so, but other people are just, oh, let me have the money, let my goal is just to have all this money in the bank, and oh, I want the nurses to think that I'm this great doctor, so let me take the night call. Yes, Deanne, you work your brain, it'll work you. And working with without working on your subconscious mind, what you're doing is just paying such a huge price for people pleasing. Like, someone drop in the comments, what are you paying? What kind of price are you paying just to people please? Oh, good. See, Hannah is selling her car for something less because her car does not fit her wants right now. If any of y'all heard Dave Ramsey speak, he says that you should get the cheapest car possible, because if you put that money away into what you spend in a car, you could have a lot of money when you're like 50 or 65 years old. Anyway, I digress. Spending all the money, yes. So it is, I just want y'all to know that it's not your fault. It is wired into your DNA to be accepted. It is so literally, unless you know how to harness this subconscious mind, you are wired to people please. And again, it's that tribal mentality, and you're never going to know what it is that's at your true heart and desire, because you are so mucked up with this filter, you can't even figure it out. So what we do in my program is we go through year by year of your life and traumatic experience and influence by influence, and we figure out what it was that was robbed from you, what it was that those things happened to you, specifically what they robbed you of, and what you needed when you were 4, and what you needed, what I needed when I was a newborn. My mom bragged, I starved myself when I was pregnant with you, Cindy. I didn't gain any weight. So, I've never thought I was worthy of health. I was the most sickly child of all of us. I spent so much of my life with my arms just in knots because of these allergy shots. And she said, I starved myself with you because I didn't want to gain 70 pounds like I deal with my brother, with your brother and your sister. I didn't gain any weight with you. I gained exactly 12 pounds, and the minute you were born, I lost all of it. But you were the only ones that had allergies. I'm like, I wonder why my immune system wasn't working, Mom. So, and again, I mean, she knew not what she did. She just wanted to be thin, I guess, despite pregnancy. But I'm strong now, and I learned how to make my immune system work without allergy shots and having my arms tied up in red, swollen, tender, painful knots for my entire childhood. And I want you to know that you can harness the power of your immune system, and anything in your body. You can make yourself physically heal. Some people give all that to God, and I want y'all to know, all of that healing is not for God. God works through you. You are divinity. You are God inside. And so God wants all of us to be healthy, whole, and healed. And we have the power to say, you know what? I'm going to figure out everything about this enormous powerhouse that is my brain, and I'm going to make the healing go from here down. I think if you get this right, you are literally able to make your healing go from God right down into the very DNA of your cells. Yes, there you go. Michelle has been through a lot, and she's finally loving herself, forgiving herself, and dealing with her trauma, and starting to live and be at peace with herself. This woman had so many trauma wounds. She was in pain all the time. And I think she's been in my program for 3 or 4 weeks, and she is already feeling so much better. She's speaking up for herself, getting rest again. Guess what? It's not, hey, Jeba, guess what? It's not bad to need rest. That's one thing I think also as Americans and as women, is that we deny ourselves for ever needing rest. We think that makes us weak, or we think that people aren't going to always go to us, because we're always the reliable one, and you don't even pay attention to what you need. And when you rest, and I'm going to come in here next week and teach this amazing heart-brain coherence technique that I learned through my friend Deanne, that learned through an amazing geologist named Dr. Braden. But you can absolutely make your whole entire body be healed from the inside out just by your breath. And again, no one ever tells you this stuff because it's just not in the mainstream media, and it's definitely not taught in medical schools. And all we do as doctors is just give people prescriptions. And I have a surgery for that. I have a prescription for that. I have a consultant for that. No one ever teaches you, no, you're the great physician, because God's the great physician and God's in you. So you're the great physician too. And I just don't want, I am really getting off topic here, guys. I am sorry. Hey, Deborah, I will finish the people-pleasing conversation the next time that I go live, after I teach you guys this heart brain breath work that I have recently learned that has just absolutely changed my life and blessed me in ways that you could never imagine. The financial abundance that has come into my life and the soul healing. I stopped the people pleasing and spoke up for myself, and I am living as free as I have ever lived in my life now. I learned it's like God gives you what you need at the time that you need it, and then I learned this heart brain breath coherence, and now it. I swear I'm going to write another book about the experience of this, because again, the financial blessings and the love blessings and everything, you would not believe what has happened to me over this past 7 days of my life. Just for starts, I mean, it's just my whole entire life has completely changed for the better. But anyway, guys, what I do, again, in my online mentoring program, I have a small team of just heart-centered women, and we love on, and we spend our whole entire lives behind the scenes tirelessly working on ending trauma one person at a time, and ending the subconscious shackles that have us put into cages. And so if you are interested in learning how to harness the power that's in your brain once and for all, so you can live the life that you want, I'll put a link below in just a second to book a call with someone on our team, and we will help you through that. We will hold your hand through that. And I always say it's not cheap to work with us, but my goodness, what's really not cheap is what you're doing to yourself right now. You are living your life in a way that is causing you a guaranteed miserable existence all day, every day. Thank you, Tammy. Tammy, you're a gift to the world. This is a surgeon that is literally quit her surgery practice to go and just teach people on how to overcome addictions and overcome burnout. Again, by using the power of your heart. I mean, here is a surgeon that is completely, no, she just knows that she is such a gift to the world. And there's just so much we can do within the four walls of these hospitals and these offices that we work in. Am I right? And Shalini says she does breathing exercises that help her parasympathetic system and slowing down her thought process. Yes, my goodness, we just have so much squirrel brain. It is amazing what we can think of if we will just calm down the squirrel brain. But anyway, guys, we are here, and again, if you're just dropping in just to hear my teachings, that's great. We're all on a different journey, but if you're ready to really get to the root of it, and you want to invest 12 weeks into yourself for once and for all, so that everything else, that all the books you read can actually take root in your heart, and all the other Bible studies and the truths that are in God's word are, so you can clear out this particular activating system mucked up filter, so that everything else that you're doing in life can come to full fruition. Yes, I do group programs, Sheila. I'm going to drop the link below, and I'm also my website. And we're a group. We do it's an online mentoring program. It's 12 weeks long. We have men and women in the second halves of their lives. I mean, my youngest client is in her 30s, but I still say I don't really care if you're in the second half of your life. That's what I originally thought, because I feel like that's when most people are awakening. But then this precious 30-year-old woman, Hannah, comes to me. So you don't have to be in the second half of your life, but that's when it happened to me, my enlightening and my awakening. But anyway, I will drop the link below to book a call with one of us on our team, and we would just be more than happy to just grab you in our arms and hold on to you. And we have developed a container to completely rewire your subconscious mind, get rid of all the trauma and all the damage that the trauma has done to you, so that you can be healthy, whole, and healed, and live the life that you want. But it's been a pleasure coming in here to you guys, in here for you today, guys, from my new space. And I am just honored to come in here every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern to just help y'all harness this power. It's just a wonderful thing, this power that's in our brain. But thank you guys for being here. Again, I'm Dr. Cindy Stark, and I lead the online mentoring program, The Real Dr. Cindy. We're a soul circle, and I would just love to tell you more about it if you think you're ready for full healing. Otherwise, just keep coming back here every Tuesday at 10. But thank you guys so much for being here, and have a great day. Love you guys.